Hi there. So this is Lou Martin. This is my Awakened Spirits Network, and I'm delighted and honored to be sharing space, holy space here with my dear friend Nicola. And she and I have known each other for years, and she's come a long, long way, and now she's doing the healing work out there in the world. And she's over there in the UK, and I'm here in Ireland. And so we've never met face to
In
face.
person? No, no.
That might happen one day. So Nicola, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you. And thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
My joy, sweetheart. Absolutely. So, you were just saying you and I have known each other. Is it 10 years? I'm going to guess something like this.
Oh, no, it won't be that long, Lou. It might
No.
feel like
Okay.
that long.
Okay.
It'll
All right.
be, I've been on my journey in the spiritual side.
Right.
It'll be 6 years.
6 years. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it
It feels
feels
longer.
like that. I couldn't resist. And neither could you.
I'll take that, Lou. I'll take
Bless
that.
you. Well, you're worth it, my friend. Bless your heart.
Mm.
You're an amazing soul. So tell us a little bit about your journey, and my friend, and how you're now working as a very gifted. I want to tell people healer and a psychic and reader, one of the most sensitive souls on the planet. Anytime there's a strong breeze, Nicola's on the line to me. What in the name of God's going on?
What's happening?
Yes, exactly. What's happening with the sun?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So
So,
it's great. You and Annie are my weather vanes. Carry on.
I am super sensitive.
Yes.
I don't know where to start, but I'm just going to go with it and see what
Sure.
flows.
Perfect.
So I went on my spiritual journey in February 2020 is when it all started for me.
Right.
So I have three beautiful children, my eldest one being 28, my middle one 26, and then my gorgeous boy Zach. So Tegan, Kelsey, and Zach are there. And my gorgeous girl, she was paralysed, was Tegan in the C word, the convid.
Okay.
Is what I call it personally.
Right.
And obviously, I did the power of prayer for the very first time in my life. So I
Wow.
set the intention of the power of prayer.
Okay.
And obviously, my daughter, not knowing then, but she had bulging discs between a 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which caused the paralysation within her body
Okay.
And I did the power of prayer. And my dad died when I was 19.
Right.
So my dad is in spirit.
Bless him.
And I actually said, if there's anybody out there, and if you're listening, I need help.
Yes.
These are not just my children; these are your children too.
Sure.
And
Good for you.
the stars were out, the sky was clear, and obviously I was smoking a lot of cannabis at that time. I was in, a lot of years I did that. Yeah,
I've heard of it, Nicola. Yes. Yeah.
And I went to sleep, and I got a message in my sleep, bolt upright, that I had to go demand an MRI scan, a copy of a disc, and go private to an osteopath here in the Lake District called the beautiful Ralph Sutton.
Wow.
So I listened to the message that I got in my sleep.
Well, that's pretty clear directions. You go to the head of the class right there.
Very. And
Yeah.
obviously, a lot of people were telling me that you're not going to get that. You're not going to get a copy of a disc. Because obviously, it was COVID. Everything was shut down.
Right.
And me being me, Lou.
You don't take no for an answer.
No.
I know that.
I said, watch me. Watch me. So
Bless
I got
you.
it. She had an MRI scan, did my beautiful girl. I got a copy of a disc. And then we went private to an osteopath. And they give it acupuncture at the base of the spine, which obviously I didn't know anything about chakras back then either.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they give it acupuncture at the base of the spine, my beautiful daughter, she had what they call a very rare spontaneous Kundalini awakening.
Kundalini. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just went from there, really.
Wow.
There was things that were happening that was unexplainable that I couldn't even explain sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's when, obviously, I was drawn to the beautiful Judith Allison, who helped
Yes.
Tegan on her journey.
We love Judith. Judith is another angel.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then obviously I was brought to your morning prayers. I reached
Right.
out to you a couple of times on my journey.
Right.
And then I went for MFR therapy, which is called myofascial release,
Okay.
which again is energy healing.
Okay.
I had
Right.
therapy for about 4.5 years myself, but for my own trauma within my body.
Right. Because of an abusive childhood.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
all of it. So when my
Right.
daughter had her awakening, and
Right.
obviously my daughter is a psychic medium.
Oh.
So Tegan is a psychic medium.
Okay.
My ex-husband then made me choose between him and her.
Ouch.
So obviously, as a mother, my children always come first.
Of course.
I ended a 22.5-year coercive controlling marriage. So my daughter really saved me from my marriage and saved me, on that one. And then the journey really begun deep to the core wounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I
Bless you.
went through, and I will say it, I went through family courts on a witch hunt in this lifetime. I was accused of things that I didn't even understand myself. Um, but with a beautiful solicitor
Great.
who was already into the energy healing. She still is
Okay.
the vice president of the Pagan Federation Church. So I'd never heard of the word pagan either. So I was
Hello.
really new to everything, like
Well, you're ticking all
literally.
the boxes today, my friend. Yeah.
So I really got so I mean some people say you get a choice, but I felt for me, Lou, I was
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
catapulted into it all,
Clearly.
like
Yes.
bump, here
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
And then I can also remember, obviously, when I was going through all the trauma, obviously, I was sexually abused as a child. My father was an unhealed man on the earth plane when he was alive. I'd witnessed so much trauma as a little girl
Yeah, honey. Yeah.
that I become very hyper vigilant, very
Of
super
course.
sensitive.
Of course.
And I see all that now, but obviously, I didn't then.
Sure. Sure.
I'm
Sure.
also diagnosed, but I don't take the label of the ADHD. I
I
class it
see.
as a superpower.
Right.
Um,
Neurodivergent, we call it.
Absolutely, yeah,
Yes,
full
dear.
on, yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
but I've embraced all that now, so it's like through my journey for me, Lou,
Mm.
I learned to love who I was, who
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned to realize how strong I was.
Right.
Because going through the family courts taught me so much of corruption in the world, but
Yes.
also sent me down a lot of rabbit holes,
Sure.
which I probably won't go into so much.
Okay.
Um,
We can
but
imagine. Yes.
yeah, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
but it's for any parent to use a child as a weapon to hurt another parent.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing for me,
Yeah.
So
That's
it
really, really
was,
hard.
it
Yeah.
made me go. So MFR therapy, the energy work, I had a lot of past life experiences within that.
Okay.
And then I come across the beautiful DVL Pandaya.
Right. Right. We'll come to Brother DVL, but tell us what the past life thing was like for you. Take a
So
moment about
one of the past life for me, the biggest one, obviously, I asked within my mind state, so I didn't ask the question out loud. Why am I on a witch hunt in this
that.
lifetime?
Right.
Right, okay.
Good
And
question.
then when I went back, oh, yeah, be careful what you ask as well sometimes. But obviously, I
Well,
was meant to ask it,
it's a good thing occasionally. Yes. Yes.
and it took me back into a past life. So I visioned
Right.
being the male
Okay.
in the past life. I
Right.
was a male. I was on a horse. I lived in Germany. It was 1635. I was getting all these messages and dates, and I could see the women bowed up by the ropes around the ankles, and
Okay.
I was actually authorizing the killing of the women.
Right. Drowning the
So
women
obviously
as witches. Yeah.
the energy that come up with that. So I wasn't sick. It was
Yeah.
just like a big, massive energy release.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, I come out and I'm going, ugh. My whole
Yeah.
body was shaking.
Wow.
And James, the MFR therapist, had
Yeah.
said to me, "Tell me what you've seen." So I was telling him what I could see and envision. And then he just, obviously, we had a very close relationship, in healing wise. And he went, "And then you wonder why you're on a witch hunt in this lifetime." And I went, "That's the question that I asked."
Well, the shoe was on the other foot for a little while there, eh? Yes.
Yeah.
Bless your
So
heart.
sometimes I feel on my journey, say when I meet, obviously, it's the witch wound, like women I work with, but I work with men as well because men have been persecuted too, not just women
Sure.
within life.
Sure.
I always think to myself sometimes when I'm meeting these people and the clients that I get on my table, I'm thinking, have I persecuted you in a past life? Is this me putting things right? And it's just one of them that's in me. But it's
Well, honey,
interesting.
it's every one of us. This was the paradigm. The patriarchy drove the men crazy. Just because they were killing the women doesn't mean they're having a great old time.
No,
Yeah.
no. But so that was one of my past lives as well. So I've had a few, I've had hypnotherapy with the beautiful Jeanette, DVL's
Right.
partner,
Right.
and that
Right.
helped me massively. So
Beautiful.
I've had beautiful souls that
Yes.
have appeared in my life that I believe God guided. I'm a
Yes.
great believer
Yes.
that God has sent these angels in my life to
Yes.
help me become the person I am today.
Hallelujah. Well,
You
you're
know,
you're a shining light, girlfriend. Let me tell you, you're an inspiration to me and many
uh,
others. Well,
and I'm
let's.
grateful for that.
I am too, honey. You're heroic. You've come over one thing after another. Bless your heart. Well, let's talk about our old buddy DVL. Let's share, tell people who he is and what he means to you, honey.
So DVL Pandya to me he is the most beautiful, down to earth, gorgeous soul, and he heart consciousness. So he's the heart, the heart opener.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the very first time I went to see the beautiful DVL Pandaya, it was lockdown. I wasn't meant to drive anywhere, but I was literally a rule breaker. Um, and I kept on getting names in my head, um, but couldn't understand why. So obviously my daughter had had this awakening, and I'd witnessed things that was unexplainable, and
Right.
I felt like I was going mad.
Right, hon. So when she had the Kundalini awakening from the procedure,
Yeah,
that's when her psychic gifts really turned on.
that's right.
Okay.
That's when
Yeah.
she become. So when that happened, I'll go back a bit. I was in the kitchen at my daughter's house,
Yeah.
and I was washing pots, obviously helping her because she was struggling.
Yeah.
And my little grandson Jaden, he was 5 at the time, and I could hear whistling as clear as day. It
Right.
was constant,
Wow.
and I actually shouted my grandson. I'm going, Jay boy, are you whistling? And
Mhm.
he come and stood in the kitchen doorway, and he
Right.
said, No, Nanny, it's the man in the corner. He whistles all the time. It's really annoying,
Oh,
isn't it? And he walked away, and I'm looking in this corner going,
right.
what the hell?
Right.
But my whole back of my spine just went cold. And my dad, when he was alive, he was a fisherman, and my dad used to whistle all the
There
time.
it is.
So that was the connection.
That's what I was waiting for. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
Okay.
that connection. So then other
Wow.
things started happening, and then obviously my daughter was only 6 months old when my dad died. So Tegan
Okay.
was 6 months old,
Right.
and then when she had this awakening, she started shouting things at me within her, um, an awakening about my father.
Wow.
Like he had a fishing boat accident, he broke his left ankle at sea, his mother locked him in a cupboard, all these things.
Wow.
Now, I hadn't kept in contact with my dad's side of the family for 22 years. So my dad had been dead 22 years.
Right. For good
And I had
reason.
to phone my
Yeah.
Uncle Brian up and
Yeah.
ask him all these questions. And my
Mhm.
Uncle Brian turned around and said to me, Nicola, how do you know all this?
Right.
And I said, because I've got my daughter screaming at me. And he just said, well, your daughter's right. That's exactly what happened. So then that's when I realised that all this was happening.
It's almost like there's a higher power at work.
Yeah. It was an experience, TVL, Lou, that'll stay with me for a very long time.
Yeah, well, a little thing like that'll get your attention,
Yeah,
and this is, I mean, some people fall into the pool and some people get thrown in, and you and your daughter definitely got thrown in the deep end, and they said,
yeah,
"Would you like to
yeah.
learn to swim?"
Yeah,
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 wow,
yeah. And I can always remember, like afterwards, like things kept on coming at me all the time.
yeah.
The next thing, I looked up to the universe, looked up to the skies, and I went, "Why don't you just throw me every lesson?" Well, with peace and grace, I should have said, but I didn't.
Well,
Uh, and that's when everything started coming, more lessons, more lessons, more lessons, and I asked for it.
I'm about so. Yes, they're very good about that, you see. You know,
Yeah,
Bless
yeah.
your heart. Well,
So
sweetheart,
when,
again, sorry, let me just jump in real quick.
yeah,
Your courage, your brilliance and unbelievable sense of humor to laugh in the face of terror and madness, and to know that this too will pass. Wow, I just feel like, Nicola, you're a very wise old soul who said, I'm going to wake up quick, quickly. I'm going to get on with this right away.
yeah,
Does that
yeah.
seem right?
Literally, no, but literally, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
We do say, don't we? You get a choice. It's like
right.
because things were happening so rapidly, so fast, like experiences that I don't know. Like I say, it felt like I didn't have a choice, but I did. But it's like I get pushed. Do you know what I mean? Like
Sure,
push,
sure.
push.
Well,
So
yes, that's
learn.
that's that's called speeding things up.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have a
absolutely.
choice, but you better make the right one, or you're going to suffer like crazy.
Or you'll learn again.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So obviously, the first time I went to see the beautiful DVL Pandaya,
Yes.
he explained the voices in my head, um, and he explained a lot of things that I was struggling to understand, and he made me feel. I don't like the word normal because there's no such thing as normal, but he made me feel like I wasn't going insane.
Yeah,
And that's what I was grateful for because sometimes I used to think I was actually going completely mad.
I would feel that way
Yeah,
too. Just everything you're
you know,
describing, and you've survived and
yeah,
all that. Sure, honey.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Would
yeah,
DVL, just to put my hat in the ring there for all this? DVL is one of the best teachers and channels and healers I've ever found, and that's why you and I are on his group
yeah.
call, which is still wide open to anyone who's interested. Thursday nights at 8 p.m. on Jitsi. So if you
Oh, I
if you're
highly
looking for
recommend.
support, yes,
Yeah, and it's
Nicola
just
and
a
I,
beautiful group. It's a lovely connection with everybody. It's
yes,
just
four
beautiful.
stars, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, so um, I mean, I'll just tell the story here real briefly that when I met Rhiannon and fell in love with her in at Mount Shasta, my channeled friend and my ex, I followed her out to Vienna, and we put on because we had met at WESAC, and she was all fired up about WESAC. She, like a general, put on a huge event at one of the biggest hotels in Vienna, and we had something like 1,000 people there, and
Wow.
for a WESAC thing, and it was Rhiannon, DVL, and myself on stage for the whole time. That was
Wow.
pretty much. We took turns and did things, together. And I sang music that I had no plan to sing, and I mean, we were pulling it out of our ear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
winging it.
yeah. I was doing my Frank Sinatra up there and the whole thing. And DVL, we all rose to the challenge, is what I want to say. And
Yeah, yeah.
so DVL's been a dear friend ever since, and it's what the last 4 years, 5 years we've been on Thursday night. Every
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, and then obviously before that, I used to see. I go and see him quite often because I'm only like literally an hour down the road, so I'm very blessed about that. So
Sure.
I went to see him quite a few times for the energy healing.
Yes, and let's
You
sing
know,
the
and
praises
now
of Jeanette, as you said, who's a
an
wonderful
amazing.
hypnotherapist,
Yeah, so I'll explain a
his
hypnotherapist with
partner.
Jeanette, if that's okay,
Yeah,
because I have, with the journey that I've been on, for me personally, I'm very particular who I work with or whose hands go on me, the energy healing work, just be being super sensitive,
of course.
myself. And Jeanette had reached out and asked me to see if I could be her case
Assistant.
study
Oh, okay.
for for CPTSD. So obviously, I was diagnosed with complex post traumatic stress disorder with all the trauma that I'd gone through.
Okay.
And I actually said to Jeanette, "Bloody hell, you're taking on a challenge like that." Anyway, I went into a hypnotherapy state. So obviously, I was sexually abused as a child,
Right.
and the person that sexually abused me as a child is actually in the spirit world.
Yeah.
And she took me into this healing of the hypnotherapy side, and I
Yeah.
went really deep. And all of a sudden, in this hypnotherapy, I could hear this male voice saying, "I'm sorry,"
Wow.
right? And I could hear it all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, obviously, I was into hypnotherapy, and I went, "Who are you?" Okay. And
Right.
this person said, "Can I please step forward?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And the abuser stepped forward so I could see him within a
Yes.
thing. And he went, "I'm really, really sorry. Can you forgive me?"
Wow.
And I went, "Yeah, I do."
Wow.
And then as soon as I said that, I could feel the whole energy of what I've held on to as a childhood trauma. I could feel it leave my body, but then I could also feel his soul leave at the same time. It's like he'd been trapped within a.
Right.
And I come out of this hypnotherapy, and obviously the tears were falling, but the space that Jeanette held
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
while I was processing that
Yeah.
was a very safe space for her to hold. So it released a lot of
Yeah. They're,
unwanted shit inside.
yeah. They're both very gifted. Both of them are deep,
So
deep
yeah,
souls.
an amazing hypnotherapist.
Yeah. She's a special lady.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
another angel.
Wow. Well, that's amazing, honey. Thank you for sharing all that. So, what are you now? How do you like to work with people? People come to say,
Oh,
they say, "Yes,
interesting.
that's me, Nicola. Help me, please, God," and they come rushing at you.
Yeah.
What are your
Yeah.
offerings
So
there?
obviously I do Reiki.
Yeah.
I've trained to do Reiki. I'm also a transformational healer. And I did the courses with the beautiful Patricia Angrove, beautiful, beautiful lady.
What are
Um,
her courses? What does she teach?
so she does transformational healing. So the
Okay.
transformational healing, the way it works, you can do it in person, and you can do it a bit like me and you. And you bring them into the I am, the you am, the we am. So you're bringing the energy in together, okay?
Okay.
And then you're asking. So that person's always doing that healing. You're just holding the space for it
Right.
in my
Right.
world.
Right.
And then you ask them to bring in the higher soul self
Yeah.
to come in with them to work for them for their highest good.
Right.
And then with the psychic abilities that I've tapped into a lot more in these
Yes.
last year,
Yeah. Beautiful.
with the intuitiveness. But there's always 5 things that we have to say, like
Oh.
in a thing. So it's
Okay.
like, how does it feel to be you at
Right.
this moment in this time?
Hmm.
Now that could be a trigger for somebody. Somebody at that time could actually not like themselves, have no self-confidence, no self-love, and the tears might start flowing.
Sure.
How does it feel to be abused?
Mm.
How does it feel to feel small?
Wow.
How does it feel not to be heard?
Wow.
So you're bringing that into that. They're just breathing it into that energy places. And then there's 5 places where we touch them, obviously with their permission.
Yeah.
One is the heart, always the heart.
Right.
Do you know what I
Of
mean?
course.
One is the knees, because sometimes you fall to your knees.
Yeah.
The top of the shoulders is another one as a safe space.
Right.
Okay. And then obviously the feet, if they go, like to keep them grounded.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then obviously the hands, so you can touch. So there's certain places, and the solar plexus again, because there's the trauma that's carried. But it's like a guidance. It's like your intuition will tell you where the energy flows to move. And obviously then with my psychic abilities, if I've picked up on something else, like rape, beating, violence, how does it feel to be, I get snippets. So that's one module that's a really, really, probably one of the strongest one I've got in my toolbox, if I was honest, with the transformational healing. Beautiful. And obviously I do soul retrieval work. Now soul retrieval work, I've never been on any training for it. I've got a really strong intuition.
Yes, you do, my friend. Oh my God.
So I bring everything. So I bring all my little tools within the safe space that I work with. I always say to them, the body will only heal what it's ready to heal. The body will only, the God will only give you what you can release at that time.
Right.
And then obviously, as soon as my hands go on the bodies, sometimes the soul just goes and they fall asleep. Do you know what I mean? So the soul's gone.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I will always make sure that all that soul selves come back in with the new energy.
Beautiful.
And obviously the psychic side of the ability is if I've got a mother that stepped forward, so the female comes in on my left hand side and the masculine comes in on my right hand side. I will give the message of the psychic abilities that needs to be. Sometimes spirit tell me to stay completely silent in therapy. So it's whatever works for the client that's in the room at the time, really, you know. So I put all my little tools and my modules, I suppose, in my box. But I will say, I will share, when I did go on the journey, I can always remember, so I've got a beautiful stepdad, Brian, gorgeous soul.
Good.
And I can remember saying to him once, when people hug me, Dad, I feel like they're sinking into me. When my hands are on the body, I feel like my hands are sinking into them. So I'll give somebody a hug, just genuine, lovely hug.
Right.
But all of a sudden, it just feels like the whole body's gone into my body.
Right.
And I said, I feel like my hands are sinking. I said, it's so weird, Dad, that I don't really want to hug anybody at the minute,
Yeah.
And my dad had turned around and said, no, it's not weird, Nicola. And I said, why? He said, because my granddad was a psychic surgeon.
Right.
So it's come down from my stepdad's side. So then I asked him to explain that for me.
Yeah.
So it would be my great granddad, obviously not by blood, but by connection. He actually opened the spiritual church in Kendal. Kaboom.
Yeah, that's deep spirit work. Yeah.
So it made me then realize, and I'm thinking, why has nobody told me all this? You know what I mean? It's like, but obviously it wasn't meant to be, Lou, till this time, know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
so Grandma was a witch.
Right. I mean, honey, bless your heart. I say again, you said, just throw me in that pool, my friend, and I'm going to learn to swim. And, it's a joy to share all your success, and you're blooming and blossoming and glowing and growing. And it's fantastic to be a part of it. It's kind of the old soul's path is, we're going to cut off all the normal resources until you start looking to God and yourself in the deepest possible way. And then everything begins to open up, you see.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're exhibit A for that theory, my friend. Bless you. Wonderful. And maybe we'll have you and your daughter on. Is she open to talking about these things?
Oh my God. She starts talking about a little bit more now, does Tegan. Obviously her experience is completely different to mine.
How old is she?
So Tegan's 28.
Well, these are the kids,
Yeah, absolutely. So she was 22 when she obviously did psychic mediumship work. She stepped back from it a little bit at the minute because obviously she's got little children. But she's actually just qualified, so she now does reflexology, massaging. She does like the vitamin B, C, D injections, and she's just signed up to university to go and be a midwife.
Hallelujah! Look at who's on fire there. That's fantastic.
I am super proud of her because obviously she's got 4 beautiful children. Right. And I'm proud of them all. Considering what they've gone through in their journey and watched the mum go through.
Yes.
I am literally, I am a really proud mum.
Well, darling, I'm just so grateful I could weep to have this conversation here with you and be any part of your journey. You are amazing. Thank you.
No, thank you. And thank you for letting me come on and share, Lou,
My
big
pleasure.
Part of that journey, big part of it, beautiful Kathy O'Leary, another one. you know.
Yes. Well, there's another hero. Yes.
Yeah.
You know Kathy, of course. Yeah.
So me and Kathy have known each other the same amount as me and you.
Okay.
I
Brilliant.
joined a thing with Poppy Sprague on social media, and I
Yes,
met
there's
Kathy
another. I
O'Leary,
have to reconnect with Poppy. I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Susan Holloway.
Yes,
She was
Susan.
so I've met Susie in
I've met
person.
Susan.
So I've met her in person, which is really,
Right.
really nice.
Yes,
So
she's a.
she was a big part of that journey when I went on in my darkest days,
Mm,
you know, and now obviously they see me at my brightest days, and it is
yes.
so lovely to see, because I can remember one of them on the group. I'm going to call her Sean on Poppy Sprague's page. She actually thought I was doing the healing work too quick, too deep, too fast. So she was really worried and concerned, you know, and I understand it. But now she messages me, said, "You were meant to go it like that, weren't you?"
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know.
You know how to make God laugh is tell him your plans. Yes.
You just gotta smile through it and get
Well,
through it, and
yeah,
you know.
and sweetheart, again, like you said, you are total commitment,
Yeah,
and total
yeah,
total devotion, and you've come through it all, and now you're turning around and helping everyone else find their way,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they'll be beating a path to your door after they see this. I have no doubt, my
yeah,
friend.
yeah,
Wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful.
But no, but
Well,
thank you, Lou.
love you, sweetheart. Love you madly. So proud of
You
you.
too.
My
Thank you.
my great pleasure. You've put up with all my idiosyncrasies like a champ, so I'm very grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it's been lovely. It's a wonderful journey to be on, you know. You stay with that love. Love is the highest frequency and the most superpower, you know, and I'm a great believer of that,
Yes,
especially for self, you
thank
know,
you, honey.
always self.
That was actually you're being psychic now. That was the quote for the day from Neil Donald Walsh. She says, "There is one emotion in this world, and it is called love."
Yeah. And
Yes.
right through my journey, okay, because obviously there was a lot of money involved.
Mm,
Um, I always used to say love is more powerful than money.
sure.
Love is more powerful than money, you know, it's the highest frequency. And my love for self and the love for my children, it paid off.
Absolutely.
You know, so you can
Absolutely.
pay as much money as you want into the system, but it's never more powerful than love.
No, love is the superpower for all of us. Absolutely, honey.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
channeling the Divine Mother, and it's your time, sister. You're here to
yeah.
rock and roll. You're here to shine. Bless
It
you.
always. I
Well,
try all the
you're
time,
doing
love, you know.
grand, my
Doing
friend.
it,
Try
doing
nothing.
it.
You're
I'm doing
succeeding
it.
by you get a gold medal in my book. Bless you.
Thank you.
You're
No,
welcome.
thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
And thank you for being part of my journey, Lou. You know, I'll always be very grateful for that love at the beginning and love right through. So it's, yeah,
Likewise.
always.
Pleasure. We're getting the band together. That's all I'm saying, It's
Yay.
all coming together here. We'll
Brilliant.
leave it there for the moment because I know you got things to do and
Yeah, I've got to be somewhere.
okay. Thank you, and we'll put your links in the thing there, and we'll take it
Yeah,
from
I'll
there.
send you
Okay.
them. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
We'll
All
do
right,
this again.
sweetheart.
Thanks
Well,
a
I'm
million,
sending you
honey.
so much love.
You're
Lots of love.
welcome. God
Bye, my
bless you.
darling.
Bye for now.
Bye.